Hi, my name is Chris Carpenter. 3 years ago, when I turned 40 years old, I decided I wanted to become a runner. At the time, I was not in very good shape, and many of my friends and family did not feel like I'd stick with it. To be honest, I wasn't sure I'd stick with it myself. But through hard work, dedication, and a great support system, I want to tell you today how in just 3 short years, I was able to run all these races and obtain these finisher medals for finishing them. So just before my 40th birthday, my wife came to me and decided that she wanted to start running. She asked me to do this thing called Couch to 5K. It was an app, and it's where you went out and you started out the first week. You'd walk a minute, run a minute, walk a minute, run a minute, and so on. And we did it. It was very hard. I really wasn't that excited about it because I was an athlete growing up, and it was very discouraging that I could barely run a block. But she pushed me and we continued on. 3 months after we started running, she said we should run the Seaboard Festival 5K, which is here in Hamlet. It's a 3.1 mile race. So I said, okay, let's sign up and do it. I was very nervous, insecure about not being able to run. A lot of people I knew were out there. But we went ahead and we did the run, and it was a run and walk. We could not run the whole 3.1 miles. All we wanted to do was make sure we stayed ahead of the speed walkers, because we did not want to finish behind the speed walkers who were walking the whole time. That race took us just over 40 minutes. That's a very slow pace for runners. But we finished it, and then we continued on the run. Starting that January right after the race, we went ahead and we ran our first full year. It was off and on for me. I didn't stick with it very well. But throughout the year, I was able to run just over 300 miles. When we moved into year 2, my wife taught me to join this club called the Mangum Track Club. The Mangum Track Club is based out of Richmond County, and it now has close to 1,000 members. The only way you can join that club is you have to go to Ellerby, be taken 15 miles away from the starting point, and then you have to run back. You don't have to run the whole thing, but you have to make it back. Once you make it back, you're in the club. So we did it, and we completed it. And it was a lot harder than I thought, but I was very proud that I was able to complete it. Once we joined that club, we started to meet people in the club that became our support system. We ran with them the whole entire year, and later in that year, I talked myself into running my first half marathon. I went to Myrtle Beach and completed my first half marathon, which was 13.1 miles. It was slow, but I was able to start and finish and run the whole entire thing, which I was very proud of. I ran the 5K in the Seaboard Festival again and brought my time down to around 34 minutes. And then I ended up finishing out the year at just over 600 miles. So then when I moved on into the next year, I ran my first 50K. 50K is 31 miles. I was able to do that January. Went into February when I ran my first 20-mile race. And then I continued on throughout the year, running several 5Ks, running another half marathon, and completing over 1,150 miles. Moving on until the third year that I ran, or the fourth time that I ran my Seaboard 5K, I finally got the time down to under 25 minutes. That's been my fastest 5K, and my most proud moment that I went from just over 40 minutes down to less than 25 minutes. During this whole 3-year period, we've run some really great races with some really great people. Last year, we went to Washington, D.C. and ran our first marathon, which was the Marine Corps Marathon. Very proud moment and a very emotional moment because that race has close to 30,000 people, and it runs throughout Washington, D.C., along historic Georgetown, through Arlington National Cemetery. It's just a great historic race for a wonderful cause, the Marine Corps. After that, we came home. We ran another 50K, and we've also ran another 20-mile race. This year, my goal is to run over 1,200 miles and run over 100 miles a month. So far, in the first couple of months, I've run 250 miles already. I'm training for another 26.2 mile race, which is another marathon. I'm also wanting to run the 24-hour race in Rockingham this year, where I'm able to run hopefully 63 miles, which is 100K. 3 years ago when I started this, I would have never thought that I could run 3 miles straight through. Now it's hard for me to believe that I've actually run a marathon, a 50K, and I'll be going for a 100K later this year. Again, the hard work and the dedication has lasted 3 years, but the great support system is the only reason that I've made it this far. I'm very proud of all these medals because they all signify the hard work that I put in. And again, I'm very proud of that hard work. So I'd like to tell everyone today, if you just decide what you'd like to do and put your mind to it and be willing to work hard, you can achieve it. But I don't think you can achieve what you're trying to do unless you surround yourself with the right people, which has been my wife, my family, and the Mangum Track Club. Thank you.